Hi, my name is Antonio Buehler. I'm a victim of police abuse, and the only reason I'm not in a cage right now is because I was able to use Craigslist and Facebook to get witnesses to back me up and to expose the police for the criminals that they are. I am prior military. I went to Westpoint, United States Military Academy. After that, I served 5 years in the Army as an Airborne Ranger Qualified Engineer Officer. I did tours in Kosovo and Iraq before I got out.
Can you tell us your first experience ever when you decided to take out a video camera and film the police?
Yeah, on January 1st, 2012, I was a designated driver. I was driving home from a New Year's Eve party, and we were running out of gas, so we pulled into a gas station to fill up in Austin. And at that point, we saw two cops ripping a woman out of a car. So I took out my camera, tried to take pictures, started yelling at the cops, telling them to stop abusing her. And then the cops came after me, pushed me around, and then charged me with a felony.
What was the felony?
Harassment of a public official, which is essentially spitting in a cop's face.
Did you?
I did not, and fortunately for me, I had a bunch of witnesses who were willing to come forward and testify that the cops lied. And I also had a guy across the street who was recording, and that video really helped out my case. I never met the guy before. He was just walking home. He had work to do the next day, so he was leaving pretty early. He was sober, and he just saw some action across the street, so he decided to stop and watch. And when he saw the cops approaching me and starting to yell at me, he just pulled out his camera and started recording, and he just caught it at the right time. I'm very fortunate that that guy was there. I think he's a hero. He didn't want his name released to the public. He wanted to stay anonymous, but he's as much of a hero as anyone else in the Peaceful Streets Project. It changed my life tremendously because that gave me a chance to be free from these charges. So I didn't know who he was. I didn't even know that guy existed. My friend told me that there were witnesses there at the scene, and so we went to Craigslist and we posted ads asking people to step forward. And when that guy stepped forward, that allowed us to go to the media to expose what the cops did. It allowed people to rally behind me, to pay for a legal defense fund, and to give me the moral support to go ahead and take the fight to the police. They took 15 months to take it to grand jury, and the grand jury no-billed me, so the indictment never happened, so I'm not facing that felony charge anymore. They replaced all the charges against me with 4 misdemeanors, Class C misdemeanors for failure to obey.
How did everything turn out after all that?
Well, we launched the Peaceful Streets Project, and we're now in about 5 cities, and we're about to add on another 15 cities by the end of the year. So we've really taken the police accountability and the police abuse activist movement in this country. I feel like we've really moved it forward. Some people are doing great things, but I think that we've been able to add a lot to it. And we've changed the complexion of how the police interact with people in Austin, and we're doing the same as we're reaching out to other cities across the country, from Houston, Texas, to Sandusky, Ohio, to New York City. And we're adding cities like Sacramento, Honolulu, Chicago, New Orleans. So we're really excited about it.
For someone who hasn't heard of the Peaceful Street Project, can you tell us what exactly it is?
The Peaceful Streets Project is a non-political, non-partisan, non-violent, grassroots activist movement that focuses on direct action to try to change culture, change the way people interact with cops, encourages them to flex their rights and to stand up for one another, and to use technology to expose the criminal nature of too many police. But we've seen cops assault women before. We've seen cops assault us, take away our cameras, turn off our cameras, arrest us for filming. So we've seen a lot more examples of cops abusing their authority and committing crimes than we have seen them doing anything to help people out.
How many times have you been arrested doing this?
I've now been arrested 5 times in 15 months, so once every 3 months. Yeah.
And what horrible deeds have you committed?
Well, the first time I recorded cops assaulting a woman and I called them out for it. The next 2 times I was recording cops and they didn't like that. And then the 4th time I told a cop to go F himself after he kicked us off of public property. And then the 5th time, I put a sticker on the back of a stop sign.
Can you tell us why it's important to film police encounters?
Well, because unfortunately too many people in society believe what the cops say, and when someone goes to a jury trial and they hear a testimony of a cop and then they hear a testimony of a victim, they're more likely to believe the testimony of the cop. So I think it's important to actually get that evidence out there to protect people, and then those videos can also be used to change people's perception of what the police do and who they are.
What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, I hope to actually change the way people think about law enforcement, encourage people to not buy into the propaganda about how cops are here to protect us and how they're necessary to keep order in society, but encourage them to see them for essentially the tax leeches that they are and the bullies that they are, and hopefully compel the good cops to stand up to the thin blue line and start standing up against the criminal element within their ranks.
If you're doing nothing wrong, you shouldn't mind me filming. If you're not doing nothing wrong, you shouldn't mind me filming. You're a public servant. I'm an American, you're an American. You're supposed to serve the people. And that's what it's all about. You should have no problem with me filming. No problem at all right now, officer. If you're not doing anything wrong.
You know, who were we with? Why were we filming? I just said I didn't have to talk to them. And she erased she called an assistant over to help her erase the footage.